This is ZL6A, headquarters station of the New Zealand Association of Radio Transmitters, with the official broadcast for March 2014. Tonight, presidential comment, headquarters news, and on the international scene.
Ham Radio has offered a pair of transponders on an upcoming geostationary satellite launch.
That and more on tonight's NZART official broadcast. Good evening, everyone. Presenting the broadcast, I'm Jim Meachen, ZL2BHF in Nelson. First up on tonight's broadcast, it's presidential comment. Here's our NZART President, Vaughan Henderson, ZL1VH. Vaughan?
Thanks, Jim, and good evening, everybody. We are in need of volunteers to fill two important vacancies. The first of these is the editor of Break-In. Our long-serving editor, John Walker, ZL3IB, has finished his last issue of Break-In, the March-April issue, which will be in your hands in early April. We're very keen to find someone who can take on this job and ensure that our magazine continues. Do you think you might like to take this on? Please let me or Debby know at headquarters as soon as possible. I would like to assure you that Break-In magazine will continue to come out thanks to a very generous offer from Stephen Heyman, ZL1TPH, who will be the interim editor until we can find a permanent long-term replacement. The other vacancy we'd like to find a volunteer for is the position of Break-In advertising manager. Lorne, ZL2AHB, is standing down, and we would like to find a volunteer to replace him. If you're interested, please let Debby know at headquarters. In the meantime, Central District Councillor Malcolm Wheeler, ZL2UDF, will keep an eye on any advertising requests. AREC sections around the country were placed on standby on the evening of Thursday the 13th of March and asked to contact their local Civil Defence Emergency Management in anticipation of widespread damage from Cyclone Lucy. At 2000 hours on Friday the 14th of March, AREC was activated and asked to gather reports on the effects of the cyclone as it passed over the country. ZK6EXL was established as a net control station on the national system and also on the 705 repeater in Canterbury. Thanks to some speedy work by Daniel Ayres, ZL1DFA, who set up a website at lucy.amateur.net.nz, all reports received via amateur radio, Twitter, email and direct to the website were logged and available to view online. From Friday the 14th until stand down on Sunday the 16th of March, a total of 243 reports were received and shown on the website. Civil Defence in Canterbury made good use of the information, as Christchurch was a particular area of concern given the earthquake damage and recent flooding. This was an excellent example of amateur radio helping the community, and I would like to pass on my thanks to all the AREC members involved, and in particular to Daniel, ZL1DFA, who put in some long hours operating as net control, as well as verifying and logging the reports to the website. As advised by Infoline, when you get your next issue of Break-In, with the reports and remits for our June annual general meeting in Blenheim, the usual financial reports will not be there. Our auditor of many years, Parsons Roddick in Upper Hutt, gave us very late notification that they were no longer undertaking financial audits, and as a result, our books, which had been with them for several weeks, had not been audited. The New Zealand Society of Chartered Accountants have introduced more stringent audit requirements, and as a result, Parsons Roddick have withdrawn from audit work. Evan Sayer, our treasurer, has been busy making inquiries of other chartered accountants and has found one who is happy to undertake the audit of our accounts, and this work is now underway. Once we have the books audited, a copy will be sent to all branches and also will be sent out via Infoline. Copies will also be available at the AGM in June. My apologies, but due to circumstances beyond our control, the information will not be in your next Break-In, but will be published in the following issue, due out early June. The branch newsletter from headquarters will be sent to branches in early April. This will have the branch membership information for voting purposes. As well as this, the newsletter will have updated information on pro rata membership subscription rates and information on a membership initiative aimed at branches which was introduced some 5 years ago. If your branch has members who are not also members of NZART, please have a look at the information in the branch newsletter. If you don't get to see this at your April or May branch meeting, ask your branch secretary to show you the newsletter and see what you can do to get more members for our association. Callbook last year came out only as a CD-ROM. This resulted in a significant financial saving, as you'll see when our 2013 financial report is published. I'd like a little more feedback from you, our members, on this CD-ROM, which included an experimental version of the callbook in electronic form. Have you had a look at this? Do you like it? Also, what would you like to see for this year's callbook? A hard copy printed format? Please let me or one of your counsellors know what you'd like to receive for this year. Well, Jim, that's it from me this month, and thanks for listening.
Thank you, Vaughan, the President of NZART, Vaughan Henderson, ZL1VH. The Napier Amateur Radio Club Branch 25 of NZART is holding the Hawke's Bay Hamfest next Saturday, the 5th of April, at Nelson Park Cricket Pavilion in Napier. Yes, the Napier Amateur Radio Club has organised a fun day of amateur radio. They've arranged a great lineup of speakers for the day, presenting talks on cutting-edge technology in our hobby. Presentations will include SDR technology, a live on-screen demonstration with Jan ZL2CZE, the plain truth about antennas and why they perform as they do with Rob Shepherd ZL2AN, solid-state kilowatt amplifier construction and low-noise preamps for VHF with Dave Crook ZL2MQ, understanding HF radio propagation and making it work for you with Lee ZL2AL. Also, Laurie ZL2TC will give a presentation on HF, VHF, mobile radio installation and operating. The feature speaker for the Hamfest is Bob Sutton, ZL1RS, who is well known internationally for setting up EME moonbound stations in rare DX locations. Now, you don't have to register to attend the Hawke's Bay Hamfest, but the organisers would like to know if you're coming. A simple email to ZL2AL at leezl2al@gmail.com and advise if you are a definite or a maybe, and you can pay on the day. If you change your mind at the last minute, you're not committed to anything. The cost is minimal and it simply covers the venue and the organiser's expenses. The cost for the day is $15 plus $5 for those who wish to sell from their car boot, and that price includes morning and afternoon teas. You'll be able to buy a light finger food, sandwiches, etc. during the lunch break. Look for updates, direction map and much Hamfest information at www.zl2gt.com. That's the Hawke's Bay Hamfest in Napier next Saturday, the 5th of April. To news from NZART headquarters, and it's to Upper Hutt we go, and it's a very good evening to NZART Business Manager Debby Morgan, ZL2DL.
Good evening, Jim. And good evening, everyone. By the end of next week, I will have posted out the annual branch circular to all branch secretaries. It's important that you all get a chance to read the information that will be in this. Not only does the circular include each branch membership statistics, but this year we'll also have some very useful information on membership subscriptions to NZART, among other things. Membership reminder invoices have just been posted out for the final time. So if you know that you are yet to pay, I suggest you do so early in the week so your name will be included in the stats for voting on remits. It is not too late to forward any nominations you have for the Amateur of the Year, Young Amateur of the Year, or the ZL1HV Branch Award. Nominations will close at the end of next week, which is Friday the 4th of April. Finally, I would like to thank all members of the Napier, Hastings and outlying branches for their very warm welcome for my visit in the sunny Hawke's Bay. I appreciated the opportunity to get amongst you all, catching up with old friends and meeting new ones. Sometimes my position here at HQ can get a little lonely, so it's great to get the chance to talk face to face. That's all from me, Jim. Back to you.
Thank you, Debbie. Debby Morgan, ZL2DL, NZART's Business Manager. Now it's returning by popular demand. Yes, it's the Branch 48 Wanganui Amateur Radio Junk Sale on Saturday, May the 3rd. The auction starts at 10 a.m. at the Wanganui Intermediate School Hall in Dublin Street, Wanganui. Yes, that's the same venue as last year. Lots will be accepted from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. on Friday the 2nd of May and from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. on the Saturday morning of the sale. The full sale conditions and contact information are detailed on page 36 of your copy of Jan-Feb Break-In and on the Wanganui Radio Society webpage at zl2ja.org.nz. Bids will be possible only by registered bidder number. As a bidder, you must register with a $5 fee. This will also provide you with a sale catalogue. That's the Branch 48 Wanganui Amateur Radio Junk Sale on Saturday, the 3rd of May. The sale will be conducted by a licensed auctioneer. For a look now at amateur radio news on the international scene, we join the Amateur Radio Newsline.
The dreams of many hams around the world will become reality within the next 2 years. This with the announcement that there will soon be a geostationary satellite carrying amateur radio as part of its payload. Amateur Radio Newsline's Heather Emby, KB3 TZD, has the rest of this story.
Ham radio will have its own geostationary transponders on orbit by the end of 2016. This thanks to approval of a concept from the Qatar Amateur Radio Society to include a pair Phase 4 amateur transponders, part of the Qatar Satellite Company's new SHELSAT-2 communications satellite. Peter Guelzo, DB2OS, is the president of AMSAT Germany. He says that Qatar's SHELSAT-2 will carry a 250 kHz wide linear transponder intended for conventional analog operations such as CW and SSB. Also on board will be an 8 MHz wide transponder to be used for experimental digital modulation schemes and digital amateur television. Precise operating frequencies remain to be finalized, but the uplinks will be in the 2.4 to 2.45 GHz and the downlinks in the 10.45 to 10.5 GHz amateur satellite service allocations. Both of the transponders will be feeding broad beam antennas to provide coverage of about 1/3 of the Earth's surface. This equates to Europe, Africa, along with parts of South America and Asia. Because of its orbital position and the antenna beam width, it will not provide service to Central and North America. Precise operational plans will be finalized over the coming months, but it is anticipated that only quite simple ground station equipment will be required to hold QSOs via the transponders on board the soon-to-be orbited geostationary satellite. For the Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Heather Emby, KB3TZD in Berwick, Pennsylvania.
The Qatar Amateur Radio Society and Qatar Satellite Company are cooperating on the ham radio aspect of the project. A team of amateurs led by DB2OS is also providing technical support. In DX up front, the Mellish Reef De-Expedition team is now in Australia and making ready to head out to sea. According to the group's latest update, all of the equipment has arrived, antennas have been tested, and are now stored for the voyage. If all continues as planned, the ship will be fueled and the group will set sail for Mellish Reef sometime on March the 25th. And word that 9 operators will be active from Dodcanes with a special call sign of SX5LA from May the 3rd to the 11th. Operations will be on 160 through 6 meters using CW, sideband, and RTTY. QSLs go via SV2FWV. For now, with Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF at our editor's desk, I'm Jim Davis, W2JKD, saying 73, and we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2014, all rights are reserved.
And as always, we say thank you to Newsline for the use of their copyright material. To the Waikato and the Radio Electronics Group Incorporated, ZL1REG and ZL2REG are holding their annual equipment sale on Saturday, the 10th of May, at the Glenview Club Incorporated, 211 Peacocks Road in Hamilton, commencing at 10 a.m. Now, pre-booked tables about 1.5 metres long are available at $20 in advance or off $25 on the day. There's plenty of parking with easy access to the venue. There will be access to the venue from 8:30 on the day of the sale for vendors only. Contacts are Trevor ZL4GJ at 07-843-7365, or you can email trev99@vodafone.co.nz. Talk-ins on the 5675 or 8875 repeaters. NZART National Conference this year is being held in Blenheim and hosted by the Marlborough Amateur Radio Club, Branch 22, NZART. Here's John Neal, ZL3LI, with a conference update.
Thanks very much, Jim, and a very good evening, everyone. This is a reminder that annual conference of NZART will be here in Blenheim over Queen's Birthday weekend, Friday the 30th of May through to the 1st of June. The final arrangements are all fitting neatly into place, and so Marlborough Branch 22 looks forward to welcoming you all. Activities will be centred on the Marlborough Conference Centre, a superb location in the town centre, and very close to good accommodation, but just remember, when you make your bookings, to mention the radio conference for a special accommodation rate. These are all advertised in the last issue of Break-In, incidentally. And also, the location's very close to the shops, the cafes and restaurants of Blenheim. Now, the program will include, of course, the annual general meetings of NZART itself, as well as AREC, followed by those of SPAM, WARO, MSAT-ZL, and OTC. For spouses, partners, there's an interesting alternative program laid on, involving, amongst other things, a boutique chocolate factory, art galleries, craft shops, displays, to say nothing of Marlborough's wonderful scenery. And for everybody, there'll be plenty of time and amongst the official program to eyeball QSOs with one another, especially over local ales or visiting any of the dozens of Marlborough wineries. Now, further details are available on the NZART webpage, also on Infoline. But if you have specific questions, you may wish to contact the branch secretary, Bill Cousins, ZL2AYZ. His email address is b.cousins, that B for Bravo, .cousins @extra.co.nz. Registration forms will be published in the next issue of Break-In. So do come along if you possibly can, because we very much look forward to seeing you over Queen's Birthday weekend.
And thank you, John. John Neal, ZL3LI, reporting for the Marlborough Conference Committee. Moving to VHF UHF news, and the next contest is the low band contest. All bands 6 metres up to and including 70 centimetres on Saturday the 5th and Sunday the 6th of April. For all contests, the operating periods are 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. on the Saturday and 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the Sunday, New Zealand local time. The contest rules are available on the NZART website. All contest logs should be sent to arrive within 2 weeks to VHF contest at nzart.org.nz or by mail to Contest Manager, P.O. Box 10138, Dominion Road, Auckland 1446. And that information from Stephen Heyman's at L1TPH. Onwards to WARO News. Here's Rosemary's at L1RO.
Thanks, Jim, and good evening, everyone. WARO's Selma Super Memorial Contest on 80 metres is being held this year, but a little later than usual. The dates are set for Saturday the 10th of May and Sunday the 11th of May from 0800 to 1000 Zulu both evenings. It's only 2 hours each night, and we hope that YOs will keep those time slots free to come on the air even for 1 hour and make the contest a success. WARO is searching for a new editor for the WARO Bulletin magazine, as ill health has forced the retirement of our long-time editor Bev ZL1OS. The magazine is produced 3 times a year, and help and support will be available to anyone who offers their services. We hope that someone will seriously consider taking the position on at the WARO AGM in June. You know, it's just over 7 months until the Australian YO's Alara meet is held at Nelson Bay from the 24th to the 27th of October. Nelson Bay is north of Newcastle in New South Wales. A website has been set up at http alarameet, that's ALARAMEET 2014.com, and there you'll find all the information about the program and anything else you need to know. You can register your interest on the website. I know that some ZL WAROs with their OMs are already planning to attend the meet. That's all from WARO for this month, Jim. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Rosemary. Reporting for WARO, Rosemary Boshier, ZL1RO. Finally, in tonight's official broadcast lineup, it's branch news. To Christchurch we head. Here's Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG.
Thanks, Jim, and good evening, everyone. We start with the Western Suburbs Radio Club, Branch 03 NZART. The next meeting is on Saturday the 26th of April, starting 10 a.m. at the club rooms at 3000 Great North Road in Newlyn. This will be the club's annual general meeting. The Franklin Amateur Radio Club meets on Tuesday the 15th of April in the club rooms on Stadium Drive in Pukekohe, starting 7:30 p.m. A speaker from Counties Power will talk about smart meters and their possible interference with amateur radio. And finally to Nelson Branch 26. The next meeting will be on Wednesday the 16th of April, starting 7:30 p.m. at the National Party Electorate Office meeting rooms on the corner of Waimea and Quarantine Roads. The guest speaker will be Martin Love from the Mountain Safety Council. That's all from me. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Stephen. Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG, reporting from Christchurch. The next issue of NZART Headquarters Info Line will be emailed on Friday the 4th of April. The next official broadcast of NZART will be made by ZL6A at 8 p.m. on Sunday, the 27th of April. This is ZL6A, headquarters station of the New Zealand Association of Radio Transmitters, concluding the NZART official broadcast for March 2014. Good night, everyone. Good night now.